A very good afternoon, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286. Patricia and David with you, rushing. We've had a busy day, but it's actually been a very pleasant day here in Gulf Harbour. I think we must be getting acclimatised because we don't even have sweaters on at the moment, even though it's 16 degrees outside, but it has been sunny all day, and so the house has warmed up rather well. 1017.9 and still rising on the bar, about 7 to 10 knots at the moment from the west-southwest, and about 40% cloud cover, and it's warm enough for our very big blackbird to be splashing around in the bird bath outside our window here. They really do enjoy their flapping their wings and cleaning themselves up. Well, let's start with Fiji. A bit of a COVID update. Haven't bothered lately, but anyway, the vaccines are now at Rotuma and Lakiba Island in southern Laos, so that's good. There is actually a good job being done on vaccination. 77% of the target population have received their first jab, but unfortunately the COVID cases are still rocketing in, 715 in the 24 hours to this morning, 8 o'clock this morning, but that's down a little bit. It will be hard to stop people gathering tonight, though, as Fiji plays New Zealand for the gold and silver medals at the Olympics. The sevens are going to be what everybody is watching. I think it's about 9 o'clock. Fiji are probably the favourites, having won it at Rio, but the New Zealand team have been quite clinical in their approach to the final. Fiji have had a couple of scares, but it's going to be a really, really good day. So those of you that can watch will no doubt have a very good evening tonight, no matter who wins. Interesting, in California and New York City, they have announced that they will mandate that all government employees either get the coronavirus vaccine or face weekly COVID testing. In California, as you will know, there's been a relaxation in the US on restrictions. In California, there's been a 218% increase in cases over the last 2 weeks, and hospitalizations are up 62%. And they are the most vaccinated state in the USA. 77% of adults have received at least one jab. The deaths in Fiji, by the way, there haven't been, to my knowledge, there hasn't been anyone that's been fully vaccinated die. A couple of deaths have been with people that have had one jab, but most of them are not vaccinated at all. Worrying news from the UK, a new strain of COVID has been identified. There are 16 cases so far. It doesn't have an easy name. It's B.1.621, but it was first identified in January in Colombia. As you know, the COVID-19 restrictions have been lifted in the UK this week, so it's still too early to see what effect that's happening. That's going to result, but they're still getting a lot of COVID cases. But we'll wait and see what happens with the lifting of restrictions. New South Wales not looking too good. The lockdown is going to continue, announced by their Premier, will continue until August 28. So another 4 weeks really. 177 new cases, another death. So things are not good there. Queensland has continued to restrict travel from New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia, even though the latter two have lifted their restrictions because everything has dropped off. None in South Australia, I think one in Victoria, but they have cancelled the Royal Melbourne show, cancelled for a second year in a row, which is a bit of a disappointment. All right, let's have a look at boats. The biggest cluster are still in the Mamamukas, about a dozen boats there, followed by Vanua Balavu, about 9 boats up there. The 2 boats heading to New Zealand are getting the traditional southwest welcome, about 16 knots there at 32 south, and just to the east of the date line. And poor old Chimera, who left New Zealand for Australia, I don't know where they're going, because no matter whether they go to Melbourne or Sydney, the wind is on the nose. It's unbelievable. 25 knots of northwest wind. They're at 36 south and 155 east, so south of Sydney. So with that northwest wind, they won't get to Sydney. But if they went to Melbourne, as they go a bit closer, it's on the nose there too, same strength. So
that'll be better for Friday.
Better for Friday. Well,
oh yeah,
that's good. But otherwise, there's nothing much of interest. Those two boats that I didn't know where they were going, I still don't know where they're going. They're certainly not going to Fiji, Gina, and the boat from Croatia. That was, yeah. No, there's two boats, South Africa and Croatia. They're sort of meandering around the middle between New Zealand and Fiji, so they're definitely not going to Fiji. So we'll have to wait and see what they're doing. And that's about it from me. Nothing much of interest. I hope you all enjoy the Fiji-New Zealand game tonight. Here's the weather.
Yeah, that should be quite a game. Anyway, good afternoon again from the Gulf Harbour Radio Weather Desk. And following along with yesterday's synoptic analysis, we'll take a look at the prognosis for tomorrow, Thursday, what's that, 29th, right? 29th. Our Tasman high is slowly moving east, with its center now near 30 south, and the date line right about in there. The following depression behind that is centered in the southern Tasman, way down there, but it extends its cyclonic flow well up to 25 south, and therefore between Australia and New Zealand there are a series of fronts and troughs bringing pretty nasty weather, to include gale force winds, squalls, and rain, and the usual. Not nice, not good at all. To the north, and just south of Newcastle, we find the 1020 millibar high, which on its eastern side is bringing very cool air north to feed the existing trough that is running basically from the Louisiades in the Coral Sea right through Vanuatu, just like yesterday, and on to, well, the center punch Fiji. Then it's off to Tonga and Niue. So Fiji is in for it. Another trough affects the Solomons, and yet another Tuvalu and Tokelau. Then it goes on to the northern Cooks. Now, Fiji's Met Service, their strong wind warning still remains in force for all Fiji waters, and they expect southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, and of course rough seas, poor visibility in areas of heavy showers. And this is going to continue at least through tomorrow. Weather relaxes a little bit after that, particularly by Friday, but long-range view, my long-range view anyhow, is not good for the weekend. So we'll keep you up to speed on that as the days roll on. And that's pretty much all I've got. So with that, I'll pass it over to the chief.
Well, that was short and sweet, wasn't it? Hopefully you haven't got lots planned for the weekend. All right, this is Gulf Harbour Radio, and if anyone needs to get in touch with us, don't forget it is ghradio@extra, which is xtra.co.nz. Is there anyone wanting to make contact on the radio, which would be very nice? Say hello. We're standing by.